This respected president just sold Africa out to the EU. In this video, we're going to talk about a betrayal of Africa, not only to the continent at large, but specifically to Ibrahim Traore and the Alliance of Sahel States. It is important for everyone that supports the improvement of the continent of Africa to know when our leaders are playing us. So if you're interested in holding African leaders to account for the betterment of the continent of Africa, then this video is for you. If you don't know me, my name is TJ. I'm Nigerian and British mixed, and on this channel, we talk about African geopolitics. So before we get into this, I need to be honest about how I feel about the subject matter today. It's not easy for me to talk about this president in this way. So I'm hoping that this is maybe somehow incorrect, or there's something I'm missing here that means what I'm about to tell you is not the actual case. So with that being said, we are talking about John Mahama of Ghana and a deal that Ghana has just signed with the European Union. It has been widely documented, and we're going to discuss what that deal is about and why it is a betrayal. So since becoming the president of Ghana, John Mahama built his reputation as one of the most promising sovereignty-minded leaders in West Africa. He publicly called out Donald Trump for labeling African countries as shithole countries.
When they can refer to our countries as shitholes, we do not have the luxury of forgetting, either excusing the racist dog whistles or explaining the overtly discriminatory and divisive statements that are made daily to our hearing.
Something I featured in a previous video on my channel. He implemented trade and manufacturing rules designed to keep wealth on the continent through value addition rather than shipping raw resources out to Europe or anyone else that wants it for profit. There was also what seemed like the endorsement of Ibrahim Traore, who came to his presidential inauguration, and then a few months after that, Mahama visited Ibrahim Traore in Mogadishu to talk about deals and the situation that was evolving. If you remember at the time, ECOWAS was very angry and frustrated with Ibrahim Traore and the Alliance of Sahel States, who had defected from the economic bloc of ECOWAS. There was even talk of military action, which actually got diffused. What Mahama did was he went to Mogadishu, struck energy deals, made a public statement, set up a situation where there was direct flights between Accra and Mogadishu. And of course, the video I made at the time even speculated that Ghana might even join the Alliance of Sahel States, which would make a very big strategic improvement to the AES, which each country is landlocked, and Ghana would provide an access to the sea, which would be very useful for supply chains and other trade and support situations. Then, of course, there's the video I made just a few days ago highlighting Mahama's speech at the United Nations General Assembly, where he pushed for the transatlantic slave trade to be recognized as a crime against humanity. 123 countries voted in favor, and the Global South stood behind him. However, the United States, Israel, and Argentina voted against outright, and 52 countries abstained completely. This included France, Britain, Germany, of course, the European Union in general. That abstention was not neutral. It was a calculated refusal. Because, of course, if the EU acknowledges that slavery was a crime against humanity, it would open the door for the first legal step for reparations to be set up. And Europe, of course, has no intention of paying what it owes in terms of reparations. I praised Mahama for pushing this forward, but then I found out additional information today. On March 24, 2026, the same day as the EU abstained from calling slavery a crime against humanity, Ghana formalized a security and defense partnership with the EU in Accra, with the EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas representing the European side and the Ghanaian government officials signing on behalf of the state. Ghana just became the first African country in history to sign this kind of deal with the EU. Mahama did not just join a framework, he created a precedent. Every other African government can now be pressured to follow. You may have noticed that some of the videos on this channel have been removed over the past few weeks. On top of that, some have been demonetized. I've accepted that as a channel that fights for African sovereignty, that pushes back against imperialism and neocolonialism, there's a chance that this channel will be removed altogether. It's already happened to some other significant channels that talk about the same kind of stuff. That's why I asked those of you who want to support this channel to join my Substack. There's a free plan which acts as an insurance because we're connected email to email. So if anything does happen to this channel, we can still regroup and relaunch. There's also a paid tier for those who want to support further. It directly helps sustain this work, and it's the cost equivalent to spending on a cup of coffee about once a month. There's a link in the description below, and I look forward to connecting with you there. The EU has poured over 100 million euros into Ghana's security apparatus since 2023, with further deliveries confirmed in 2026. The deal locks an annual secured EU-Ghana security and defense dialogue in place firmly. This is a permanent institutional relationship. Ghana is now inside the EU's security architecture, and that door does not swing back very easily. Here's what that deal really means in simple terms. The EU has now placed military apparatus, drones, anti-drone weapons, electronic warfare systems, surveillance equipment, and explosive ordnance disposal capabilities inside a country sharing a direct border with Burkina Faso. France, who was expelled from Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger between 2022 and 2023, something we talk about a lot on this channel, has now opened the door through the EU to get a foothold back in that region that it has been expelled from through military might. The EU lost its military foothold on the Sahel. Through this one deal with one respected African president, they have now got an opportunity to replace that void they've been cut out of. And Ghana is the foothold. If you understand what this means for Ibrahim Traore, this move directly undermines the military position of Burkina Faso and the AES, placing his country at increased risk and exposure right on its southern border. And it does not stop at Ghana. The United States and the EU already maintain military infrastructure in the Ivory Coast and several other African nations that encircle the AES countries. Add Ghana and you've now got a coordinated arc of foreign military presence that is physically surrounding the Alliance of Sahel States and Ibrahim Traore from all sides. This is not a coincidence. This is encirclement. And we have already seen exactly what kind of trouble encirclement produces. When Trump decided to strike Iran, every Middle Eastern GCC nation hosting a US military base became a staging ground with no say whatsoever in the matter. Qatar, Bahrain, the UAE were all pulled into a conflict that threw the entire Middle East into war and chaos, and the world is still dealing with that problem right now. These Middle Eastern countries did not consent. They had no power to refuse. They simply watched while the United States launched military bombs, drones, Tomahawk missiles, and all sorts of other fire and brimstone from American military bases on their sovereign ground into Iran without their consent. Ghana has now placed itself in that exact position on the southern border of Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. This is inside a military framework controlled by Brussels and the EU. If the EU moves against the AES, and France has every financial motive to do exactly that, the infrastructure is already in place and Accra will not be asked for permission. Here is the bigger strategic picture. The AES sits on uranium, gold, and raw materials that France's post-colonial economic model depended on at below market rates. The AES cut that pipeline off in the last few years, and Europe now faces either accepting the loss permanently or forcing its way back in. Covert destabilization has been running alongside overt military pressure for years now. When NATO destroyed Libya in 2011, Gaddafi's armories emptied directly into the Sahel and armed these emerging groups of Al-Qaeda affiliates, Islamic State cells, and Boko Haram, the very same groups that Europe recruited to bring down Gaddafi. Europe, of course, condemned these groups now. After building these groups or putting them together directly or indirectly, however you may see it, Europe, of course, condemns these groups. These are the ones committing Christian genocide in Nigeria and destabilizing the whole region. But Africa produces no significant military weapons, no advanced drone systems, no armaments at any scale. Yet these groups have maintained a continuous, sophisticated weapons supply for over a decade across Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and northern Nigeria. Someone is supplying them, and I wonder who that could be. One could speculate that it might be the countries with the most to gain from the permanent Sahel instability, maybe even the same countries now encircling with military infrastructure that same region. Which brings me to the most important point here. What was the purpose of John Mahama standing at the United Nations General Assembly if his actions was going to contradict everything that he said on the podium? The UN General Assembly has no enforcement mechanism for reparations or acknowledging slavery. It cannot compel reparations or compel anyone to do anything. So the world lets Africa take the podium, win the applause. We all celebrate Africa pushing back and asking for slavery to be acknowledged. Then they go and sign a deal that actually makes a difference. What a slap in the face that Europe could abstain from that vote and then turn around on the same day and sign such a deal to put African countries at military disadvantage. We are essentially training Europe to give Africa nothing while taking everything, and that cycle continues over and over. John Mahama's not a stupid man. That's what makes this so hard to accept. He knows the history of French military bases in Africa. He knows what the AES and Ibrahim Traore is trying to build. He knows what happened in the Gulf region right now with Iran, which means either he made a catastrophic miscalculation or there are pressures on Ghana and Mahama that we are not privy to. Either way, Africa cannot keep rewarding leaders with silence when their deals betray the words of hope and sovereignty that they utter. We do not hold our leaders to account through applause. We hold them to account through scrutiny. What they sign versus what they say matters. And that work starts right here on this channel. If you want to go deeper on the relationship between Ghana and Burkina Faso, the Alliance of Sahel States, just so you know just how crazy this kind of betrayal deal is, I suggest you watch the video that's showing on the screen right now, and I'll see you over there next. Peace.